I'd like to welcome everyone today for today's Leadership Live Wire. Thank you guys for taking the time to join us. We are absolutely grateful for you guys to join us and to hear different perspective on to the topic that we'll be speaking about, which I'll be mentioning in a bit. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, all right, we are totally excited for with today's Leadership Live Wire. Just want to give you guys some context for those who do not know who the Spark Group Asia is. The Spark Group Asia is a leadership, executive, and business coaching company, and we have been hard at work training and coaching leaders from all sizes of organization, whether you can come all the way from an MNC all the way to an SME, to train their leaders to coach. And the Leadership Live Wire is about getting together a amazing panel of amazing coaches, which I'll bring them up very shortly. And but nevertheless, the Leadership Live Wire is about bringing conversation that matters. All right. Without further ado, so as we get into today's topic, which I'm going to show it to you in a bit, and today's topic for today is changing mindsets of emerging leaders. So the topic that came about was a very interesting insight because I've been speaking to a lot of different business individuals, got an interesting opinion, or I would say an interesting perspective onto what they are facing. So why the question is why mindset change is important for emerging leaders. So for the business owners that I spoke to, they mentioned one thing, one common denominator that they have, one common problem that all of the business owner has is the challenge that they face is the mindset change of their new leader. So mindset change of the new leader from you transitioning from an employee to become a leader, it may be difficult for one to make the changes because the mindset of employee differs very much of a mindset of leader, because when you become a leader, you have subordinates under you whereby you need to coach, you need to guide, you need to nurture them, you need to empower them because you're a leader. That's what leader does, and so with that, it's important because mindset is an established set of attitudes that held by an individual or by a person. And so being a leader requires one to have the leadership mindset, to have a leader mindset, sorry. But, to transition towards that, it's difficult because when you're to switch that, it, you can't just simply switch it like that. It takes time. And so with that, so mindset are are leaders' mental lenses that dictate what information they can take in and use to make sense of and navigate the situations that they encounter. So you have to be proactive, all the skill sets of a leader. And a mindset shift requires you to break away from old habits. And give me a sec here, guys. To break away from old behavior and habits that may no longer serve you effectively in your leadership. It demands you to expand your comfort zone, accept your complacency in doing you more harm than good. So to shift that, it's not as easy as it seems, and that is why for me I brought upon this topic for today. Adopting a new mindset is the first step of reinventing yourself as a leader and ultimately regaining your competitive advantage, impact, and influence to be. All right. But the question is today is how do one do so? With that, the topic of today that we'll be discussing is changing mindsets of emerging leaders. We'll be touching on the what, the why, and the how of the topic. But without further delay, I'd like to bring upon the two amazing coaches that I've worked with closely. So without further delay, I'd like to bring upon a young, handsome gentleman which has several years in experience, and especially he's an entrepreneur which holds a franchise of a mart. So without further delay, I'd like to bring upon the man himself, Mr. Jayden. Oops, sorry, Mr. Jayden.
Hello, Jay. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon, Jayden. Thank you so much for joining us, Jayden, today.
Yeah,
All right, Jaden, you would you like to like I gave you a brief introduction. Would you like to talk a little bit deeper about yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Jayden here. I'm an entrepreneur with 16 years of entrepreneurship running a retail company. And also that in these 16 years, I found that the essence of building the team is how we develop new leaders. This is so crucial. That's why today's topic is so important that for every entrepreneur there, every leader there, every manager there, for we to understand that how are we building new leaders for having and facing the challenge of tomorrow. Yeah. So this is what I would like to share in today's live wire.
Absolutely lovely. I'm really looking forward for the insights that you have on how changing the mindset of an emerging leader. Because I believe that with the current generation, there's so much things are changing, and like to change that is essential. And without further delay, I'd like to bring in the next speaker, the next coach that I will be speaking for today, and it's none other than Coach Nurul.
Hello. Hi,
Hello, hello,
everyone.
Nurul. Thank
Good
you for
afternoon.
joining me again.
Yeah, I become like a regular face already on Live
Yes,
Wire.
yes.
Thank you, everyone. I see some of my friends here. Hi, Angela. Hi, Fatima. Hi, Marisa. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. I hope a lot of people who are also watching, not showing your presence here, just type in something in the comments so we know we are here.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, I'm actually very glad to be here. Just to introduce myself, I am Nurul. I'm one of the certified leadership intelligence coach for Spark Group. On top of that, I'm also a people manager for a hospitality management group of companies. I basically do the HR things lah. So nowadays we call them people manager, people department. So talking about today's topic, I find it is one of my favorite topics. I come across a lot of struggles with building mindsets and changing mindsets, especially when one change from one role to another role, especially managerial or leadership. So I can see this is a very interesting discussion to have, and I'm really glad that Jaden is here also, so I can also learn from him. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hey,
New haircut, Noro. Looks younger.
Yes,
Healthier. Wow. Energized.
nice, nice, nice. Absolutely. And you look lovely with a new haircut as well. But
hey, thank
for
you.
me, I'm so interested and keen of hearing your thoughts on changing the mindset among emerging leaders, because I believe that every generation there's a change with like different leaders that come about. And like I mean, like if you look into it in a general perspective, we always change our prime minister as well. So I mean, like leaders constantly change, and to adapt, to switch that mindset from becoming a normal individual to a leader, it it is very important. So let's just jump right into the discussion to get a better understanding and as well as insights of changing the mindsets among leaders. So guys, the first question that I would like to ask: why actually, like I would like to hear this from you guys. You guys are leaders as well, so I would like to hear this. Why is changing mindset of an emerging leader vital? Why is it important? All right. Honestly, I would like to hear thoughts from Nuru.
Okay, so what I think is this is something that I come across very frequently. You know, I as a HR manager, I come across a lot of transitions, a lot of promotions, a lot of new leaders as well. You know, so this is something that is very uh, frequent that happening to me. So I would say why the change of mindset is important for an emerging leader is because it helps to make the transition easier. So, you know, someone who gets promoted usually is because they are good at what they do. Their skills are not questionable at all. This is why they get the promotion, or this is why they are picked as a leader for the team. But I think what is lacking usually from my observation is that the leadership part, where actually it's just the mindset that have not been developed or have not changed, but what changed is the position, the responsibilities, but the mindset will cause all these struggles. So, to have the leadership mindset is also to have confidence, to avoid frustrations, to avoid self-doubt. Some of the leaders may, when they come into a new position, they after some time they will feel like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough for this. I struggle a lot. It's mainly because of the mindset has not changed yet, or not developed yet. So also to encourage teamwork, this is why it's important for someone in emerging leader to have that change of mindset.
Okay, I can understand. Like, because you see, when they become a leader, so they hold act more responsibilities compared to the employee. And like for instance, like a predicament that comes up, they will need to be proactive and quick about knowing what to do. And I can understand why is it that important. Also, I would actually like to hear thoughts from Jaden. Like, why is it important in your own experience? Or why is the mindset change of emerging leader important?
So today we'll talk about emerging leaders, right? Emerging leaders is some leaders is new leader, correct? No?
Mm,
So
correct.
I think after the pandemic, wow,
Yes, very true.
there's a lot of uncertainties in the business world. Yeah, I don't want to discuss about a lot of industry or companies been wiped up by this past 2 years, and a lot of under struggle until now it's open. Also looking sometimes looking good, but still a lot of uncertainties lies ahead. Either for most of the industry having the rising costs, the minimum wages, and also the uncertainties of a political environment in Malaysia, and also the currency of Malaysia. So I would say that for emerging leaders, so crucial now for a company to have a good mindset, because most of the emerging leaders, like what Coach Nurul shared just now, they are good in their skill. Let's say a salesman. A salesman is so good in doing sales, and most of the boss thinks that, wow, this guy is so good in doing sales. So I pull him up or she up to be the manager. Then he or she can pass his skills to the team, to the new team members, so everyone can learn from the expert. Most of the time we don't. Most of the time, I don't know how Coach Nurul's experience. For my experience, most of the time it doesn't work that way. A good salesman may not be a good manager, may or not maybe. Yeah. So in this so crucial environment now, when we promote some good skilled people to be the leader of the team, I think it's so important for us to prepare them, their mindset to be the leader. Mm. So
Hmm.
this I think that's so crucial for the good skilled people in this uncertainties environment, the business world, so many challenge. Then for the new young guys who are promoted become a manager, it's our responsibility. The people manager, the boss, the manager, the current manager's responsibility to prepare them to be a manager. So the 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 correct mindset kicks in so important. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jaden. That's a beautiful insight. And yes, I agree with Marissa what she mentioned that it's when you become a leader, it's no more me, it's a we. And
Mm.
as you mentioned, a salesman, they can do so much sales, but when you get promoted, it's not necessary that he can be a good manager. But nevertheless, it's the matter of the mindset, and that is very crucial. So so with a follow-up question, would be follow-up thing that I would like to check. So how does mindset affect leadership? And I would like to hear thoughts from this. I would like to hear your thoughts on this, Jaden.
Okay. Before I go with the discussion, Jay, what do you
Mhm.
have for breakfast today?
I had only coffee for today. I don't eat breakfast.
Okay.
Only whack lunch or sometimes brunch.
Okay, thanks, Jay. So well, I would like to share the points that we always heard from the nutritionists. What
Mhm.
we are what we eat, right?
Correct. Very true.
Yeah. Our body is what we feed with. Then are you healthy, or are you overweight? Are you fit enough? So the mindset is the same ideas. We are what we feed to our mind. Yeah. So what our minds think will reflect in our behavior, our decision, and our communication with others. So it's so important that just now Jay mentioned about. the mindset affect the leadership. I come back to the salesman
Mhm.
example just now. I just come across to have a conversation with a very young lady, 20 over, is a property agent, and she had the mindset that she would like to be the project manager of the team, and then to emerge to become the leader of the team. Ah, so I would say this: she is a good salesman, very good sales results every month. Then, if she have the thought that would like to become a team leader in the future, so the mindset change from me to we, like Coach Marisa mentioned just now. I'm a good salesman. How I like to do is manage myself to be the good salesman. If in the future I would like to become the team leader, the mindset change that what is the mindset of a leader is different from the mindset of a salesman. So what we feed our mind as a salesman may not necessarily fit the mindset of a leader or a manager. Yeah. So there's the important that how we feed our mind that will reflect in our behavior and in the decision we make in every single day. So it's so crucial that if you are ready to become a leader, then fit yourself with the correct leader mindset. So this is what I would like to share, Jay.
That's a very interesting insight. Like you mentioned, a salesperson. I love that analogy actually. As a salesperson, you when you have that mindset, like okay, I want to make sales, and you will consistently think of that mindset. But when you get into that position of a leader, you know,
Yeah.
you can't have I want to make sales. It's like how can I empower my employees to make sales in that kind of
Yeah.
perspective. All right, that's actually very good insights. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jaden. And Nuru, what about you? What's your thoughts on how does mindset affect leadership?
Okay, I would sum it up in a sentence. A
Okay.
mindset change for a leader can break or make a leader. And why I say this, because for every leader, as what Coach Jaden mentioned, once they come to a point that they become a leader, their role change from their actual work to making sure that someone else or a group of people can do that work as good as they are, not if
Yeah.
not better lah.
Mm.
Better is good lah, right?
Yes.
So you want to have that skill or that change of mindset. I'm in this new position not because I want to do continue to do the work. Now I want to make sure that other people also do the work. I always use this analogy that duplicating myself as a leader so that other people can do the same work that I do, if not better, at least as good as I am.
Mm.
That itself is a change of mindset and skills required. Of course, there's skill required on how to do that. But the realization of now my role is to transfer my expertise to others is a change of mindset itself as a leader. So I also come across with as you know, in HR, I come across a lot. Sometimes we think when we talk about emerging leaders, right, they are
Yeah.
given the position. So if let's say I give an example from position of sales executive to sales manager, for example. So
Mm-hmm.
some of us, I'm going to be very realistic here, some employers actually think that once I give you the position, you will know what to do already. You will get your team respect you. You know, you're the
Yeah.
manager, right? You're the manager right now. I'm sure people will respect you. But
By
unfortunately,
default, yeah.
it doesn't work like that. So I wish it's like that. Like, okay, now you're a manager. I give you this name tag. You're a manager now. Let everybody
Mm.
know. Make an announcement that you're a manager. Please respect him as a manager now. You know, but it doesn't work like that, right? I mean, individually, we want to respect people because of them being our leader of whatever contribution that they do for us, right? So, I mean, even ourselves right now here in this room and everybody else who are watching, we have had leaders before. So, how do these leaders make us feel is exactly the mindset that emerging leaders need to have to be ready that you become the person that used to lead you, you know. So to have that kind of skills is another set of skills. We're not talking about sales skills, we're not talking about your operational skills. Is all about the mindset and the leadership skills that um, we need to have in order to be the leader that our team needs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
Nurul, you are saying so right. As a business owner, we have the mindset that when I promote you as a manager, that I think you can do your work. Don't not that's how you. But the reality is that the business owner don't know how to lead a manager.
Mm,
I think
mm.
most of the struggle of a business owner. I think this may be applicable to some experienced manager leader, but today we are discussing about the emerging leader. Then I think this is something that need to tune in. Yeah,
correct, correct, and also agree with you. Correct. It's the empowerment skill, which is very important, and that's what I think. Many, like even you mentioned, you can't expect when you give somebody a position, you can't expect that. All right, this is your position. You know what to do. You can't be doing that. In the sense that you need to empower, you need to teach, you need to guide. Which is an interesting insight. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys do have any questions that you would like to ask the coaches as well, feel free to do so. Honestly, they have several years of experience, and they will give you good insights. I'm learning so much right now. I mean, like, yo, thank you guys. All right, with that, let's jump into the next question, which is, what is the mindset an effective leader? I'd like to repeat this. What is the mindset of an effective leader should have? I would like to hear your thoughts on this, though.
yeah,
I would say, I think one of the most important mindset that I would suggest all emerging leaders to have is trust. Okay, I'm going to throw an example, right? This is quite real because I come across a lot of this. Once you get into a position of a leader, of a leadership positions, I have observed a lot where sometimes we think that people are not as good as us, and we think that people may not trust us. But what I want to say also, trust is actually a two-way. If we
Correct.
don't trust our team, it's very hard for team to trust us, and that is an ongoing process. So that mindset of having the mindset that these people are here to also be as good as I am is very important for any leader to have, because in the long run, if you fail to change the mindset, right, you're just going to be a boss. Remember the thing that we mentioned earlier? So I give you a position, so now you're a boss. Congratulations, you're a boss now. But it's going to stay that way if there's no mindset change. If you don't put yourself as a leader, you don't trust your team. In return, the team don't trust you. That's all you're going to be. You're going to be boss for the longest time, and people may or may not respect you as the boss, and you may or may not get the kind of cooperation or result that you want from your team. So I would say, number one for me is the mindset of trust for a leader to have.
That's
Yep.
that's very that's very interesting. I mean, like, for me, I've been hearing about, like, I sometimes I like to listen to podcasts as well, and one thing I was hearing upon, they were saying, they said something along these lines. When you have trust among your employees, it is very unlikely for them to have any issues. But when you don't trust them, there is more issues tend to revolve, more issues tend to come out. Which I believe that trust is important for a leader to have that kind of mindset, the trust mindset. Hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Thank you. Beautiful insight. What about you, Jaden? What is the mindset an effective leader should have?
yeah. Thank you. What Coach Nurul shared just now is so true. Today we talk
Yes.
about emerging leaders. I expect that the emerging leader will be 20 overs or around 30s. The newly managers. So I think the first challenge they're facing is how to manage different age group of team member.
Hmm.
Yeah. So maybe in the team got someone elder than them, maybe experience is more than he or she. Yeah. So I come across some friends that say, wow, it's the best. You boss, you don't want put someone older than me in my group. I cannot tak boleh, cannot lead them. Ayo, the best is at least someone that fresh or younger than me. Okay. So this is, I think, most of the emerging leaders, new leaders facing the issues. Like what I shared just now, the property agent that I shared before, the ladies, she also having the same struggle. There's a so-called the Albert in the in the companies that working so long with so much experience and life experience and work experience, and how an emerging leader to lead the team. Yeah. So I think that the mindset that we should encourage every emerging leaders to embrace. Besides from the trust that what Coach Rule shares just now, I think the other thing will be so crucial is the flexibility. Yeah.
Mm.
Flexibility means that there's a lot of possibilities out there, not necessarily for yourself, for your team, and also not say you are young or old or have more experience than you or more skills than you. So the flexibility here is that different people, different age, that no matter it's a baby boomer, Gen X or Gen Y or now the millennials, that everyone have their skills and their advantage. So the flexibilities in mindset for an emerging leader says that when I face different age group people, different background or different experience, that how should I lead them with different types of skills, that uh, means that there's no one skill is sweet for everyone. So for a leader, for emerging leader, they should equip with this mindset that flexibility is the key for us to communicate with every one in our team. So no matter he or she is elder than you or younger than you or in different parts of different department maybe. Yeah. So how should I show up in different ways when I speak to a baby boomer? Or how should I show up when I speak to a millennium? And how should I show up to my peers that maybe it's a Gen Y or Gen Z? So I think that the flexibility is the key for an emerging leader to equip themselves with the unforeseen challenge, maybe in the coming years, in the futures, that with so many informative era now in the internet. So I think that the flexibility for us, how to cope the challenge in the future, that's the core mindset that should have.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Flexibility and trust. Having that mindset is important, and also thank you, Ayman. It is very important. Means then, like, situations like Ayman mentioned, probably then you need to micromanage. That is not what a leader should be looking for. You should be able to have that
Mm.
trust and the flexibility to let your employees, we empower them and let them be able to do their work as well. And at the same time, we as leaders, we can always be there to guide them, that having that kind of mindset as well. Thank you so much, guys. So with that, I think we can proceed. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to again remind you guys, if you guys have any questions for the coaches that you guys like to prompt, feel free to do so. Trust me, you get different sorts of insight, and honestly, it is mind-blowing. I've personally have experienced it as well. All right, so with the next question, guys, how do you develop the right mindset for a leader? This is one of my favorite questions, and then the next question will be even more favorite. Wait. So
Mm.
but so how do you develop the right mindset for a leader? Jaden,
Yeah,
I'll love
yeah,
to hear your
Sheffer,
insights.
yeah. This is what a default challenge for a management team to develop right mindset for new leaders. So for me, that I think the first thing is that I would like to have a very open communication with the new leaders on the roles that he or she playing in the future. Mm. So the first thing that is like what you call where are you now and where do you want to go
Mhm.
So you know that where are you now, the roles that today, the role you play in the company, in the organization, already different. Before that, you are a team player, a follower or a member. Now you become the leader or manager of the team. Mm. The roles that change makes you where do you want to go in the future. So the first thing I would like to share that to have a very clear and open communication with the emerging leader, the new leader, that what's your role currently, what's the change of your role in the future and where do you want to go in the future. So the core here is that for them to understand who they are and what should they do in the future and what roles they play in the company. Meantime, in the communication, that I would share, I would have a conversation that who they are and what is their personal target in the future. Yeah. So when I understand the personal target of their personality, their personal individual target, then how should we tie their personal interest with the company direction? Mm. For a leader, for emerging leader, for them to understand themselves, so importantly, to really have a clear mindset that what roles are they playing now and how to tie their personal interest with the company target in the future. That makes them a very good kickstart to prepare them. Yes, now currently I as the emerging leader, yeah, what should I focus now? Okay,
Mm.
so that's my
Mm.
sharing. Pass to you, Nurul.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really like what you mentioned, Coach Jaden. I feel the same because I come across a lot of emerging leaders who are also struggling the same thing. But what I want to say that once you step into a leadership position, right? Whatever your skills, your operational skills, things that you are not good at is no longer the most important thing, because once you're a leader, your job is to take care of your team, to develop your team, to of course among other skills that you need to have is strategic planning lah, your budgeting lah, all these kind of technical things, right? But one of it,
Mm,
when we talk about leadership, it always ties back to people. So just now what Coach Jaden mentioned, which is to tie their own personal interest with with where the company is going, I think that is very, very powerful. Because honestly, I've come across, I think even the viewers may also come across something like this. How many of you have heard that people saying, I come here only for salary, I want to do my work, I don't want to do anything extra, I just want salary and go back. Have you heard of this before?
yeah.
Very familiar, right?
Mm.
But at the same time, if a leader could establish what's their personal interest, with the skills of asking them, for example, right? Why is it that you choose to take your salary here? All companies pay salary, honestly speaking, right? I don't know any company who make you work with salary lah. You can get salary just about anywhere. So if you're saying that I come here only for salary, I don't want to do anything more, I don't want to get involved in this and that, I take my salary, then I go back lah. Fine. But as a leader, you have the power to actually find out. Okay, so fine, you want your salary. I also want my salary, but why here? What is it about the company or about this team or about this management that makes you stay? You know, so that itself, something that is not every leader able to ask, right? But it is very, very, very powerful. To tie back to what Coach Jaden mentioned just now, this is something very little for some people who do not find this very important, right? Just to know someone's personal interest, you will be surprised with all kind of answers that you will get with that very little question. So
Mm,
how do you develop this, right? Of course there's a whole lot of other skills that you need to have. For myself, I would say, because I also experienced this, by empowering the team with coaching skills, asking the right questions. This is a very, very powerful skill for a leader to have,
mm,
because it really helps to find out their personal goals and tie back
yeah.
to company's goals and purpose. It's going to be
Mm,
very, very powerful. So yeah, so that will be my thought on the mindset that need to be developed, that I also have the power to empower my team and to find out what is it that is important for them.
Hey, one thing, Nuru, just like you mentioned about your experience, one thing that I'm
Mm,
curious, you as a person manager, you come across so many new leaders or you train a lot of people for the past many
yeah,
years. For new
yeah.
emerging leaders,
Mm.
what's the, for as your experience, the time frame for emerging leader to really equip their skills as a leader or mindset? What experience is what's the time frame that is maybe reasonable, is acceptable?
Okay, I mean, in my company,
Yeah,
we are ongoing. We on ongoing basis, we always train people not only on their skills but also on their leadership skills.
yeah,
So, from my experience, how we keep doing this, I would say around to actually change their total mindset, it will take at least 3 to 6 months, and this
three
is
to six.
consistent coaching and consistent training on the leadership skills.
Uh,
So I would say in return, if you want to have this automatic, right? If let's say, okay, I let them do, and soon they will have their leadership skill lah. I would say 3 to 5 years.
wow, 3 to 5 years.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah lah, but after 5 years only you will get like the result that you want. But with the right
Mm,
skills, that support from the company, three to
yeah.
six months be fair, just to shift them to be
Mm,
ready
mm.
to take on the leadership position
Okay.
or mindset. Mm.
Okay, okay. You know why I asked you this question, Nurul, because I also had a struggle when all the times our organization to promote a new leader, the emerging leaders how
Yeah.
long the time frame should we let him or she try to be the manager to be the leader, and also sometimes after a few months they feel
Mm.
they are exhausted and they cannot go with the new job scope, and then last time I only take care of myself and now I take care of other people I cannot do it so you said that the time frame for us to refer should be 3 to 6 months for them to
Yeah.
yeah. But the condition is that continuous coaching and training
Continuous coaching
from
with
the
every,
from the management.
yeah, correct. Over here, I mean, on
Oh,
average, for every leader, it's
yeah.
compulsory that they have one-to-one leadership coaching with the
Okay.
coaches in the company.
Mm,
They have this, I think, once every 2 weeks. So that is
yeah.
consistent. Yeah. So
Oh,
with that, it will help them a lot in building them
yeah,
up
yeah.
as a
This
leader.
Nurul, yeah, Nurul, you make a point. The consistency of the effort from current management team is so crucial for
So,
emerging leader to equip and prepare themselves to really can perform after the three to
yes.
six month probation yeah, so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
yo, whoa, so much information. Beautiful. Like from what Jaden earlier was saying about being open and aligning the individuals like goals in order to empower them to actually become to have the right mindset as a leader. And then with Nurul as well, yes, coaching, it's important. You need to actually like, hi Zuhul, hi, thank you
Yo
for joining
yo,
us. Thank you for joining us.
Ida.
Hey,
Yeah.
hi Shidi. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
All right. But coaches, we have a question on the audience, and it's none other than our coach herself, Coach Marissa. So she asked this question: experienced managers not necessarily means older. Sometimes older people are afraid to empower others. What do you guys think about that? What are your thoughts? You know what? I want to hear this from Jaden. Jaden, what are your thoughts on this?
yeah. Just time I mentioned about the old birdies in the
Correct.
companies maybe 10 or 20 years already in the company, very experienced, but their experience is still at the maybe at their skills level, not at the management level. The skills of they have, yeah. So what experienced manager may not mean older, yeah, it's true. For someone 20s over around 30s, maybe they will pick up the skill of management, pick up the skills of the leader, and not only in the skills of their expertise. Maybe a accountant clerk she keep learning on management skills, on leadership skills, in part of the accountant skills. So this is two skills that we talk about. One is their professional skills at their jobs, accountants, the lawyer, the salesperson, their professional skills. The other is the experience on management, the leadership skills. Yeah. So sometimes maybe some 20 over younger uh, leaders, they have more experience than all the 30 or 40 years old people, because most of them, they have the mindset to prepare themselves for the future. Mm. And then they
Mm.
pick up the leadership skills and management skills in the way, along the way in their career path. Yeah. So I would say that I experienced some of the young guy. They are very dedicated to be a good leader in the future, They're so focused to learn, to attend seminars, read books, or attend courses, training. 3 to 5 years. Yeah, it not take long. 3 to 5 years. They already pick up a lot of skills and a mindset, prepare themselves to be a leader. Compare with someone already in the workplace for maybe 20, 30 years old, 20 or 30 years experience in the workplace, but their skill is still focused on the professional skill. They're not picking up the leadership skills, and that makes a huge difference in the future. Yeah, this is what I observe here.
Thank you so much, Jaden. Wow. Well, it's true. I mean, like even like what Marissa just said, like it's true that age does not necessarily what they can show your leadership skills. Sometimes it's the experience that you have, and even younger people sometimes can even lead people way much more better than adults. But it still, nevertheless, still comes down to the experience that the individual have, and also the mindset. So with that, I'd like to ask Nurul, what about you? What are your thoughts on this? Experienced
Thank you.
managers not. Yep.
Honestly, I come across both. I come
Uh-huh.
across an older manager who's been in the position for 10 to 15 years, and you do not see this manager empowering the team. So what
Mm,
happens is the turnover gets very high because the team somehow failed. Coming back to my example earlier, or my suggestion earlier, is about trust, right? So the
Mhm.
trust was not there. People keep leaving because they feel that my boss don't understand me, my boss don't trust me, so what's the point of me staying? So with that trend, we this is my previous workplace last time. So with that trend, we came to find out, like, why is this happening? Why is the turnover so high? You've been a manager for 15 years. Why is this happening? The answer that we got was, if I train them and then they get better and then they replace me, how? So I got no job already. We
Mm.
were surprised with this kind of answer, but knowing where that comes from, it also means that even though you're older, doesn't mean that you have the ability to empower others. It could be fear that I don't want people to take my position, so I better limit my things. I better not hold something so that the company will still need me. So as a leader, you want to empower. So when that happens, they're so afraid. So this is not happening. So what you get is a team of people who keep on leaving, who are not happy, who don't even trust their own boss. So on the flip side, I also saw a young emerging leader, and I actually worked with him at this time. I'm quite proud of him. He's very young. He's like 26, I think, 27, 26. And once he got promoted, right, he showed his leadership in a way that I didn't even expect. And we didn't
mm,
see that coming. And we thought like, oh, because he's young, we need to work on him a lot on his leadership skill. But the
yeah.
opposite happened. Most of the things actually become autopilot. So
Mm,
it has nothing to do with age, actually. So I agree with what Coach Marisa mentioned. Some older people doesn't mean that they have automatic leadership skills. Some of them are actually afraid of empowering the people, because they would mean that they lose their power. You empower one, right? You empower, you give power
Yep.
to other people. I don't have power already. So yeah, so that also happens here and there.
mm,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh my. Okay, that's very good insight. Like especially when you mentioned about uh, the manager not holding some certain things to himself. So it's just like, okay, like I know for a fact if I hold this, and they won't replace me with somebody else. But that's not how a leader should be. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're supposed
Mm.
to empower leaders. You're supposed to make other people better. That's what a leader essentially is. All right, so we actually have one more question from Mr. Shide. All right, what are the difference between a positioning leader and a leader coach? Okay, so I would like to hear your thoughts on this, Lulu.
I think positioning leader refers to position title. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm Correct me if I'm wrong, Shidi. So when what I understand with positional leader, or leader based on position, is like how we explained earlier lah, how we we mentioned earlier, which is I give you position. Now you're manager. Become a leader. You're not manager. I put you in your promotion letter. You're a sales manager now. Okay, now be a manager. You be a leader for the team already. You know, 10 people. You go and lead them because this is your position. So some things that I also come across a lot is that some people think that it comes automatically. So you're the manager now, and I even heard some organizations or companies or higher management will actually condone this in a way that they say now he or she is promoted as a manager. You all must go and respect him. You all must go and follow him. So that in a way is the positional leadership that comes with the title. So to say that if you don't have the title, actually the leadership without that position, people don't look up to you or people don't find you a leader. As opposed to a leader coach, I think Shidi yourself, you yourself is a leader coach. I think what we are doing, also some of the programs that Spark Group is also having is to enable leaders to have coaching skills. So with coaching skills, you are able to actually empower your team. So as a leader coach, you are equipped with something extra that other leaders don't have, which is the coaching skills, how to empower others, how to delegate, how to be flexible, how to bring up your team members to the level that you want to find to get results with the company, follow the company direction, and all that lah. So I would say these are the two difference between positional leader and leader coach. I hope that answers your question, Shashidi.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Jaden? Or you want to chime in with anything? What I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, Coach Nurul has a very good definition on these two lah, positioning leader and also leader coach. What I would like to add on is that see, if we ourselves are as a leader, you lead as a positioning leader and versus you lead as a leader coach. I give you one guys one an example. If you lead as a positioning leader, when there's a credit, you are the one in front of the team to receive the credit. Because I'm the leader, everything God comes to me as a positioning leader. And if you lead as the leader coach, when there's a credit, you are the one that at the back that support the team. The team have the credit and also the cheers on your team. This is what I have as an example that because most of the time, where do you see a coach as the leader coach? Where do you see a coach in the sport? The coach is not in the play field. He or she is at the side of the play field, right? And then when the team become the champion, who is on the stage to receive the trophy, the PR lah? The captain of the team, right? The player, the
Yes.
captain of the team. Yeah,
Captain.
not the coach. The coach is at the side that yes, glad for you, cheer for you, motivate you, and bring the best from the team. So I think this can apply in our workplace. That if you lead as a positioning leader, most of the time we saw that the leader is in front that giving instructions, give orders, and then there's a credit, and he or she will receive the credit, and the team is someone that support the leader. And if you lead as a leader coach, now if something happen that you bring up the best in your team, you know the way your team wants to go, you motivate them, and there's a credit, some achievement there, then your team will in the spotlight. Under the spot is your team that receives the trophy, and you are the one that clapping everyone. Then your teams, when they are on the stage, they will thanks you. I have the achievement today because I'm a very good leader. Our manager is who or she, at the back there always support us. So I think this is there's a clear difference between if we lead as a positioning leader or we lead as a leader coach.
Mm.
Wow, wow, beautiful. Wow. I mean, it's very true. It's more empowering, especially like when you, as a leader, you see one of your employees succeed, and it's absolutely satisfying. And at the same time, when they actually appreciate you, it's even more. Which is true. A leader coach never takes the credit. They always give it to the team, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty part about the differences between a positioning leader and as well as a leader coach. Guys, thank you so much, guys. All right, with that, the last and final question. All right, what is the role of an organization in nurturing the mindset of an emerging leader? All right, Jaden, I like to hear your thoughts on this. what is the role of an organization in nurturing the mindset of an emerging leader?
Wow, this is so important, Ajay. My for my own companies, I used to cannot have a emerging leader
Why so? Why? Are you? Okay.
because we don't know how to build a leader.
Okay.
Huh? The emerging leader is someone that knew from the leader, knew there's maybe less experience in leadership, and if the organization didn't have an environment or a system or someone to walk the path with them, then they will die in the journey. This is what I experienced before, really, really true. It's a true experience, yeah. When our company didn't have the mindset of ourselves, the business owner didn't have the mindset, and the company didn't have an environment to let the emerging leader to pick up the leadership, to learn from zero to become a hero in the future. So along the journey, they were drained up. Definitely, they were drained up because they are trying, they are learning, and then if the company didn't have the environment to encourage them or supply them with more and more training and enforce how to be a good leader, they will drain up. So it's so important, so crucial for a company, an organization to really nurture an emerging leader. So the first thing that I'm practicing now in the company is the training system, a regular training system. Either internal or external is so important for a leader that to pick up their skills of leadership. Because you know why? When we are doing something in the daily jobs, we don't know we are correct or not. We don't know we are doing a good job or not. Now,
Correct.
then along the process of training, either internal or external trainer, yeah, we got the ideas from others, the more info from others and insight from others, then I can compare what I am doing now is considered correct or not correct. Consider in the correct path or lari surat lari jalan to the other side.
Do Rifa highway.
So I think that for emerging leader, for they are still finding their own style of leader. They're still in the process of discovering who they are as a leader. Now, their own leadership style, everyone have your own pattern, right?
Correct.
So they are in the midst of discovery who they should be as a leader. Ah, what should I show to the world that who am I as a leader? They are in the midst of discovering themselves. So the environment of a leader of an organization in the company is so important to let them have the space and also to let them have the input to understand where they are now and are they on the right track or not now. So I think that what Coach Nurulhuda mentioned that Spark Group we are having the program that's so good for emerging leader to have the basic ideas of leadership mindset and also how to be a coach, the basic of a coach mindset. Yeah, that's to you,
Wow.
Nurul.
Thank you. I totally echo what Coach Jaden mentioned. How company can support this, right? If you guys are from companies that do not have the system that I mean the where I work, we already have things in place like how to support emerging leaders and whatnot. But if you're starting, this is where you can look at how I can support emerging leaders in the team. I would say two things. All right. Number one, to allow the time for your leaders or emerging leaders to pull them out from the operations to learn that skill. Okay, we all know we are all very busy, right? Every day, serving guests, serving customer, meeting suppliers, vendors, whatever it is. We are busy every day, but organization can actually help this by allowing the time for these leaders to learn. So once they have that time and knowing with full awareness that a company is supporting me, they can actually learn to brush up their leadership skills. And as what Coach Jaden mentioned, also we expert group. This is what we do. We actually help these leaders to find out their own leadership skills, which is very important. So remember what I shared earlier. If you want them to become a leader by themselves, it will take 3 to 5 years, of course, because that by nature like you leave them, okay, you by observation, by
Mm.
own experience and learning, yes, it will take 3 to 5 years. But why go for 3 to 5 years when you actually can find a shortcut So as an organization or as a company, in order to support this, it also will return back to you. Taking around just few months of practice, um, you'll be able to actually have a team of leader coaches who also empower people. And I saw something in the comment from Zul saying that coaching is only for sports, which is very true.
Yeah.
So when it comes to coach, sometimes when we say coach, people will think like, I myself, when I
Paul.
say, will say I'm a personal trainer lah. Like a personal trainer. I don't know, no, not personal trainer. It's yes, personal trainer, but for leadership. So I would say for an organization to support this, right? As coaches, we have seen companies who actually take out their managers and senior managers and manage and GM out of their daily operations, put them into our programs of 2 full days just to learn on leadership skills. And guess what?
Yeah.
Every time they do this, they come out really inspired, knowing exactly what to do once they get back to their own job and position. So that kind of realization and that kind of help that the Spark Group is doing to help companies to train their leaders. So I think easy said than done is actually, yeah, just send them for training. Come and speak to us, and you'll be surprised of what you can achieve.
Wow, wow, which is
Yeah.
true, which I would like to echo as well. Like I mean, I work with you guys especially, and I've seen people have changed, and especially when the organizations takes an initiative and like, hey, I want to make my leaders here, you know, to make them better, to make them be better at leaders essentially. And I think we all have seen it. So many people have changed, and it's a beautiful sight to see. Absolutely,
Yeah.
So guys, with that, that is the last question. What a beautiful insight for today, especially changing mindsets of emerging leaders. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time. But nevertheless, it has not come to an end yet. So usually when with the leadership live fire, always, right now we have been, especially with the Spark Group Asia, we used to do a lot of virtual events.
Mm.
But virtual events, it's no feeling. I want to see people face to face. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, just to like to inform everybody, we in the Spark Group have already started shifting a lot of our events to actually physical events. And we have a physical event coming soon on next week, Friday. Let me show it to you guys. Yeah, give me a moment. All right. So the Resilient Leadership series is happening again, guys. So in case if any of you guys missed it the last time, don't worry about it. There's still another time, which is happening next Friday on the 29th of July from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It is full physical workshop. So you get to see the coaches. And the coach on the day that will be speaking is none other than our leadership intelligence coach, Nurulhuda. So she'll be speaking on the day, so you can actually meet her physically and actually drop her or even ask her any sort of question about leadership or even about coaching, or if you're interested into pursuing into coaching as well. So what she'll be speaking about on that day is how to enable the coaching skills in leaders, where leaders are able to empower their employees to be more productive and efficient at their own work. But nevertheless, guys, just a heads up, there's limited number of seats. So grab it while you still can. So in case if you guys would like to actually sign up, I'm just gonna put this here. You can actually sign up with the QR code here. Just flip out your camera and like scan it, and you may sign up there. But Nur, would you like to give some sneak peek about what you'll be speaking on that day?
Yeah, of course, of course. I
Fantastic.
really appreciate all the viewers who are still here. I hope you guys haven't left yet, because what I want to tell you, this resilient leadership series, enabling the coaching skills in leaders, is a very, very powerful workshop. I really suggest business owners, people manager, or everyone in the leadership position to come and join us, because what will happen on that day, which is next Friday, we will be having workshop on how to enable coaching, as coaching is the only leadership skills that empower your team members. So this is not a joke, okay? So once you have a leadership skill or coaching skill, you'll be able to empower your team members, and you'll enable for your team members to produce the result just as good as you are, if not better. So I keep saying this, right? So to allow your team to be on autopilot mode, where you can actually do your other things. This is the coaching skills that you need. So in order for you to enable this, we're actually going to talk about it in half a day workshop, which is happening next Friday. And I also want to point out that I will also be sharing my own experience on how myself and the team that I work with really benefit on coaching skills, building leader coaches in the team, and we see really positive results. And is a pity, or is going to be so sayang if I just keep it to myself. And for the Spark group, for us to share it with you guys, I think this is very good opportunity. So I really encourage everyone, and I suggest everyone to just scan the QR code so you can join us. Come and speak to us and see how you can explore more of this. This is going to be very interesting, very powerful, and it's a lifelong skills that you will carry for the rest of your life. Really, no joke. So I hope to see you next Friday. Okay.
Thank you so much, Nurul. Thank you, thank you. Wow. And yes, it's very true. We at the Spark Group Asia, we love sharing. But nonetheless, we at the Spark Group Asia as well, we love sharing and we always love feedback. So, guys, if it's possible, do give us some feedback. Do give us some review on Google, LinkedIn, and as well as Facebook. And if you guys want to learn more things, we have a lot of content in our YouTube channel, which is the Spark Group Asia. All right, with guys, with that, uh, before we end everything, I would like to say thank you so much to Nurul, Coach Nurul, and Coach Jayden for actually joining me today for the live wire. So much insights. I mean, like, there's so much new information that I can actually utilize right now. Thank you so much for taking your time, and especially the audience. Thank you so much for taking your time as well.
Yeah.
What I mean, I hope you guys, while you guys are doing this, while you guys are listening to this, I hope you guys are having your lunch as well. That's very important. I probably have my lunch later only, like in a bit. But nevertheless, thank you so much, guys. Looking forward to seeing you guys at the workshop. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Louis. Thank you, Zul. Thank you, Nisa. All right, guys. With that, I just want to say I'm going to bid you an adieu. Take care, stay safe, and see you guys
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you, Jay. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.